Can y'all hear me out there loud and clear? I'm gonna let a couple people join the chat, the live stream, and we're gonna get this episode on the way. I don't know what's going on here right now with my, I don't know. But let me just check out everything myself, and then we'll get this episode started. How y'all doing out there? When you come in, tell me where you watching from. Is that loud enough? What up, Frontline? How you doing? Salute. All right, well, let's get this started because I got a lot to cover, and I just want to get over a lot of things here. Uh, I've been going on social media and everything, and I've been checking out. Wait a minute, it sounds like I'm getting an echo or something. Hold on one second. All right, maybe it's just me. Oh, I think it's the headphones actually. Yeah, it might be them echoing in the background on me. All right. Well, I've been checking out social media and a lot of things they've been saying about Subriel Matias, and a few names that keep coming up is Devin Haney and Bill Haney, and some of the things that were said that they tried to negotiate a fight with Subriel Matias, right? So in this time, Subriel Matias, what's up, John? How you doing? Um, from New Zealand. All right, shouts out, baby. Um, so he made an offer to Subriel Matias, and during the time he made this offer, it was during the time that Subriel was making a transition to a new promotional company with Ed Hearn and Matchroom, right? So Bill Haney is accurate when he said this, right? Subriel took to social media himself and he replied and he said, listen, you got the wrong promotional company when you called that other guy. He said, here's the other number. So, according to Devin Haney and Bill Haney, they called them back and they haven't received the call back, right? Okay. Now, Bill Haney know who Ed Hearn is. It's no secret. If he really wanted to get a hold of Subriel Matias, bro, contact Ed Hearn. You guys have been in business and have done business. In fact, that fight against Devin Haney and Subriel Matias is technically an in-house fight. If you didn't know this, Devin Haney is still under promotional company under boxing. He's still technically signed to Matchroom in a way. He works with Matchroom. He works with Top Rank. He's flexible. So quiet is kept. Bro, you more than know his number if he's your boxing promoter as well, Devin Haney. You see? And this is how you can find out when people are just bullshitting. You see? Devin Haney and his supporters are trying to go around and say that Subriel Matias is ducking Devin Haney because he's asking Regis Progress for a fight. Okay, let me break down a few things. One, Subriel Matias cannot speak English really well, right? And When you're learning a new language, you're finding out that when you explain things, it's kind of backwards. You understand? When we say things in Spanish, if you actually broke it down the way we said it would sound backwards in English in some translations. So when Subriel is trying to say it and explain it in his broken English, what he's saying is, yes, he's always wanted to fight with Devin Haney. And if beating Regis Progress, the man that he beat, he wants to show that he could beat that guy even worse so that the fight can even build up. So, Bria, what he's trying to do is, damn it, Devin Haney, if you won't fight me, then I'll beat the guy that you beat. In a sense, that's kind of what Subriel is saying. You see? So his fan base took it as, wow, he's not calling out Devin Haney. He's not that. You don't understand. He has been calling out Devin Haney. He just ain't getting no response. So in his little broken English, he tried to explain, yeah, listen, in fact, I'll whoop the guy that you beat. So it proves to everyone that I can fight you, Devin Haney, right? Okay. But according to his fan base, that means he's ducking because he doesn't. He's saying that Devin Haney doesn't sell on pay per view. When you say that to a man, you're enticing him. You're saying, "Oh, you don't sell," so that he can answer you back. Now that's some disrespect right there, right? So Devin Haney, why don't you answer him? Why don't you answer him? You guys got the number. Come on, man. Stop playing. Right? Okay. So I find it interesting that most of the talking happens during the time Subriel Matias already has a fight scheduled. I noticed that a lot of guys like to talk about him when he already has an opponent already scheduled in front of him. With that he's not free to say, "Hey, you want to fight me?" No, it seems like that's when the most talking comes out of everywhere. Subriel Matias is scheduled to fight Liam Paro June 15 in Puerto Rico. Now, speaking about that fight right there, that is a really big, strong fight. Liam Paro just had an interview. It was just posted like 4 hours ago. And I'm going to share with you some of that audio so that you can hear him. He got real slick on the interview. I'm going to let you hear the interview and you tell me. The guy asks him, this is where we're at in the interview. Just because in my mind I'm racing fast, so I want to get you guys caught up with me as well, right? Okay. So Briel, the guy's talking to Liam Paro live in an interview, and he asks Liam Paro. He says, "Listen," he says, "does a loss on Subriel Matias's record does that give you motivation that he's already lost before?" This is what he has to say. Watch. He said the one thing Subriel is good at him at is losing. Liam Paro is undefeated. He hasn't tasted defeat. Yo, he got real slick, right? Okay. Okay. Hey, you got that, right? But at the same time, you're going to have to back that up. I really commend Liam Paro for taking this fight, right? For multiple of reasons. And one of the biggest reasons why I commend him for taking this fight, right? You know, first, he's putting his undefeated record on the line. And not only is he putting it on the line, but he's venturing out into enemy's territory. He's going to Subriel Matias' backyard. Not every man in the world will do that. Not everybody's going to sign up to fight you with home field advantage in the crowd and everybody booing you. You better believe Puerto Rico's gonna boo that man. Okay, they're gonna show love to Subriel Matias, and every punch that Subriel Matias, whether he connects or not, the crowd is gonna react. And when Liam Paro hits combinations in that ring, they're gonna be silent. They ain't got, it ain't gonna be no crowd in his favor. And that could sway the judges. If the fight is close. And you're going into Subriel Matias's backyard. So knowing this going into the fight, if you do not definitively beat the champion, and if it's a close fight, they're gonna give it to Subriel Matias. So this as the challenger coming into a fight of this kind of magnitude. You know that you're going to have to put on a type of performance that's just going to say, listen, I outright beat this guy if you can't knock him out. You see, Liam Paro is to be commended for taking a fight such as this. He's putting a lot on the line as well. His hopes and dreams and everything that he's fought for on his side is coming to fruition on this night. Here's his chance. You wanted a shot at the title? They gave him the boogeyman of the 140-pound weight division, Subriel Matias. And Liam Paro says, like most men coming into a fight with Subriel Matias, he is not the boogeyman. They've all said that. And in fact, all the last 5 fighters that came into a fight with Subriel Matias all said they were not scared of the boogeyman and they all retired on the stool. Subriel Matias is a force to be reckoned with. And right now, he is down in Mexico training vigorously for this upcoming battle against Liam Paro. Liam Paro is coming into this matchup, the WBO global champion of the world. So make no mistake, he is championship quality, undefeated fighting material. He is not a guy that's coming off of a loss, okay? And he's not one of these guys that they just picked up off the street. This is a real contender. This is a guy right here that is shooting for the stars on June 15th in Puerto Rico in Subriel Matias's backyard. Now, Subriel Matias needs no introduction. The man has come against 20 fighters and he has a 20%, he has 20 knockouts and 100% knockout ratio. This will be his first title defense in his homeland of Puerto Rico. This is a big fight. Many, many, many of Puerto Rico's legends will be in appearance and in attendance on that night in Puerto Rico. In fact, I will be in attendance and I will be trying to cover the fight as much as possible. Subriel Matias is, like I said, he's on a kind of streak right now that is very rare in the sport of boxing, where that he made his last 5 opponents quit on the stool. Remarkably enough, that's saying a lot when you didn't knock them out. Either the physician, the fighter themselves, or their corner all waved the white flag. Liam Paro is not scared of none of that. And coming into this fight in June 15th, he's going to try to shock the world. Make no mistake, he's coming to fight. Liam Paro is a very crafty fighter, and he has shown that he can box when he needs to. He has good footwork, and he has a good jab. Lately in his last fights, I have been seeing that Liam Paro has been trying to be a little bit more slicker of a puncher. He's not what you call your typical smart puncher, but he is, he does have a volume of punches and he has a selection of punches he can go to. It's not just like your typical 1-2 jab uppercut. No, Liam has a selection of punches. And upon watching his fights, I noticed that every time he came out, the next time he improved, so that you can see that you see improvement in that fighter. I expect to see a better improved Liam Paro come June 15th. The young man looks very confident. He's talking very confident. And I believe that he's game. He's definitely game. You guys are typing a lot here. Let me catch up to you guys. I really want to know what you guys are talking and thinking about. Thank you for everyone joining the live stream. Unfortunately, my sound effects are down tonight. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I think YouTube just got it in for me. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hey, it is what it is. The show must go on. Salute to everyone that joined the live stream front line. All right, Bam Bam Boogie, um, Kakui. Hey, did you guys hear him all right in the interview? Let me know if you guys heard that too as well, and what you guys think about that. Yeah, the course they are pissed. Devin Haney, yeah. Devin Haney is the face of boxing. Well, he's a part of it. I agree. Devin Haney is a part of a face of boxing. Right now, there is no definitive because of the shakiness that is Canelo Alvarez and his opponents, right? So, I mean, the fan base has been supporting him because he is who he is. Tank Davis, we have not seen in action since Ryan Garcia. So, Tank is up there too. But as soon as Tyson Fury hits that a ring May 18th, I bet you a lot of people are going to tune in. I bet you. Because, it all depends. And then you have the Japanese superstar for Japan. He is also face of boxing in Japan and all the way on that coast, on that side of the world. He's a big deal, and he's a lot bigger than Devin Haney in the U.S. over there. He might not be a big thing over here, but he's way bigger than Devin Haney over there. You see? So it depends who you ask and where you're asked to say which fighter is the face of boxing. You know, but there are some big names because what about Terrence Crawford? Hmm? I think Terrence Crawford is one of the biggest names in boxing, if not the biggest name. He was the first man to secure all four belts in two separate weight divisions. So Devin Haney is a big name. But you got some great fighters in his era. You got the Tank Davises, you got the Naoya Inoue, you got the Terrence Crawfords, the Tyson Furies, especially if Tyson Fury unifies all four belts. Watch out. Watch out if he gets all four of those belts. You seen him on YouTube talking about that he's gonna sign a 10 fight deal out there in Saudi. One of guys know something? This May right here is going to be one of the biggest months in boxing. Just May alone. May alone is going to be explosive. Yeah, let me just run down 3 fights for you just in May. You got Saul Canelo Alvarez coming up against Munguia May 4th, Cinco de Mayo, right? Okay. You got Naoya Inoue May 6th in Tokyo, Japan. And you got Tyson Fury against Usyk May 18th. And we ain't even got halfway out the month of May. We just at May 18th. 3 big, massive fights just in the month of May. Yeah, and that's before we get Subriel Matias in June. Yeah, we got some big fights ahead of us, fighting fans, and we gonna break them all down. Okay, and I tell you what, Subriel Matias right now, he's in a great position. He happens to be in one of the biggest explosions divisions in all of boxing. This past year, the 140-pound weight division got really interesting. With all the men that are in the division currently and all the men coming up, it looks promising. There's even looks room for opportunity a little bit further up. It's being reported that Terrence Crawford might just be entertaining a fight with Jerron Boots Ennis. Yeah, you guys heard that. I'm not sure if this is bullshit, right? I mean, ain't no done deal or ain't no contracts been sent over yet. This is just a whisper in the wind, you know. But from what I'm hearing from a couple big sources, they're saying that yeah, he might be entertaining that. Um, I don't know. But for the money, for the money. You see, if them Saudis want to see him fight him, it's gonna have to be at 147. That's the problem. If he's gonna fight Jerron Boots Ennis, it's gonna be have to be at 147 for Terrence Crawford vacant belt. That would be an interesting situation because technically Terrence Crawford never lost the belt and Jerron Boots Ennis never won the belt. And they would be coming into their bout about that belt. So who's really champion here? Huh? Hold up. You ain't really won. You ain't beat nobody. And they stripped me, but I'm here making technically a title defense at 147 fighting you. Wait a minute. They might have to give me back my belt on the start of this fight. Right? Right? Just let's make it even. Let's make it even because either way, whatever man stands to win that night, it stays the same way. You know what I mean? Even if you put Jerron Boots Ennis, the champion coming in and he wins, he's the champion. You know what I mean? You see, if he loses, Terrence Crawford's the champion, But you would set the record straight if on that night announcing Terrence Crawford as the IBF champion. Everything would be in line because they'd be at 147. Just make it right. You know what I mean? So why do they hate on Devin Haney so much? I discussed this the other night. Um, when you win so much, the fans will turn on you. If you start to be good at something a little too much, you're no longer the underdog. They've been seeing you win for so long. Devin Haney's going to be one of those fighters that has a pretty lengthy boxing career if he stays healthy and don't suffer any major injuries. He could have a pretty lengthy boxing career like Floyd Mayweather past 20 years, like Donito Donaire. He has over 20 years in boxing. Donito Donaire has a lengthy boxing career, but not every man can say that. On typical, you would come into boxing, say, let's say on average, 20 years old. Let's just on average, right? So, some boxers coming younger, some older. So let's just say 20 years old. 10 years puts you in your 30s. So let's just look at it like that, right? So that's just 10 years. So in between them 10 years, so whatever, you can add a year here and there, take away you started at 18 and say you stopped at 35, you'll have a lengthy one, but the time frame isn't a long time. You see? So Devin Haney started really young and he accomplished so much so fast. It didn't seem like that way for him, but once he started rolling, he kind of took off, right? Being the fact that Loma came in the underdog, the war was going on in Russia against Ukraine. He had the sympathy of the crowd, he had the sympathy of the users, and he also mentally played a religion war right in front of you without saying anything. But viewers caught on. Devin Haney's a Muslim. When he went to fight Lomachenko, if you didn't notice, I dare you, go back to the post fight interview. It's on YouTube. Lomachenko came to the post fight interview with a Jesus shirt. All of a sudden, he was a Christian and he had Jesus on his shirt and he's a Muslim. You see what's going on? He didn't have to say anything. When's the last time you ever saw Loma come to a fight with a Jesus shirt on? So he had a lot of different angles. And I know this because I observe shit like this. So Devin Haney in his last fight was being portrayed as an American gangster, a thug, punk, one of those hoodlums, gold chains, gold teeth. And when they was posting up um uh George Camboza, they had him all patriotic. They had the flag, his country flag, draped around him like a patriot. And they had Devin Haney and some spray paint jacket. You seen it. It had like graffiti on the jacket. He had all the chains. And Devin Haney was just being himself. And they was like, yeah, 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 keep being yourself. America, yeah, America. And they played Devin Haney with them pictures. Because if you didn't know neither, in that same photo shoot, they took pictures of Devin Haney with the American flag draped over him, but they didn't use those pictures. They used the pictures when he walked in and what he was dressed like. Oh, look, you look fresh, Devin. Let me take some pictures before we do the Patriot shit. Let's take, and they used those pictures. And they used George Camboza's pictures with his flag draped up. And the image that it gave came out that Devin was a thug. So into his next fight with Loma, people just started they listen. That's what I talk about when I'm talking about this fake news and the bullshit. That's why I made this channel. That's why I do what I do. Because I see shit like this and I break it down for y'all to explain to you guys what's really going on. These are the gimmicks and the tricks they use. This is what they talk about whenever they want to like either hype up a fighter or make the next great white hope or fucking whatever kind of fighter. These are ploys and method. They've been around for centuries in boxing, and I can see them. You see, and when Devin Haney got booed in Las Vegas, it was similar to who? When's the last great American champion that was from Vegas that got booed? I'll wait. I don't. I'll give you three guesses. Floyd Mayweather. You see, they used to boo Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, that man was so smart, right? That he adopted the villain's persona. He put on the chains. He said, "This is what you want to see. This is what you want." But there was one thing that was really pure about Floyd Mayweather, and that was boxing. There was no denying it. He was more than a student to boxing. He ate, slept, breathed, shit boxing. There was nothing that that man didn't do. Unless you were talking boxing or you were talking about him getting better at boxing or going to a gym, he wasn't talking to you. See, Floyd's not much of a real businessman per se, right? The only thing he can do very well was box. And he saw that there was a a persona to put on, you see, and he fed it to you, and everyone ate it up. And he was very profitable from his gimmick that he had because he knew that his skills would back him up and it wouldn't fail him on fight night. Yeah, Floyd was something else with that shit. He just thought of some shit that people didn't really figure it out back then. And it was clear, his vision was clear, and he had the skills to pull it off. So there are many, 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 different things that but the one thing you'll always find out about the sport being pure is that no matter if they can set you up, they could portray you this image. They said that Terrence Crawford's fights were boring. They said Devin Haney's fights were boring. They said all these guys' fights were boring, right? Because look who's saying it. The other promoter, the a hater, a guy he beat. Look where you're getting your source from. Look at the people that are saying that, right? And then look at what your eyes tell you. Wait a minute, this guy's explosive. This guy's exciting. This guy's undefeated. Now let me look into the crowd. Wow, the crowd looks packed. How are they saying that this guy's losing money? You see? Just sometimes look with your own eyes. And sometimes it'll be hard to, see through, but hey, um, so they do these kind of things, right? So that they can set their own fighter to fight that very fighter that they called boring or to avoid him. Whenever you hear those kind of words about fighters, and like they said about the Japanese superstar, didn't they call him a hype job? Didn't they say that he was trash? Didn't they say it was steroids and hand wraps? Didn't they say that all this other stuff about him, right? They were trying to put him down. But what did you see? In this sport, they can put you in position, but the one thing you got to do is be able to pull it off. And we'll soon see if they ever match you up with that person. But behind everything, there's always the real duckers, and there's some guys that are not going to take these dangerous fights. That's why I commend Liam Paro for going out to Puerto Rico, because that's some real ballsy shit right there. You come to think about it, you just say it, hey, he's going to fight, because we're all just thinking about, well, Subriel Matias fans anyway are thinking about Subriel Matias. But on Liam Paro's side, man, I got to commend them. Where's show me the list of people that said they were going to go out to Puerto Rico to fight Subriel Matias. Show me. Where is it? Where's the list? Yo, I don't see a list because there is none. It was just probably this guy, right? And that goes to show, and it speaks in his confidence. That speaks in that man's confidence. It goes to show you that this guy right here, he's chasing his dream, man. He's going in there to try to become the IBF champion of the world and shock the night in Puerto Rico. They might have to secretly fly him out of there with that belt, but you know, uh, that would be a big, massive upset. And those are things that you have to think about in boxing, because this is boxing and shit happens. Nobody thought Mike Tyson was going to get knocked out by Buster Douglas in the Tokyo Arena in Japan. Okay. And if any of you say that you had Buster Douglas in that fight, you're a fucking liar. All right. Yo, can we get these likes up? Smash the likes, please. Can we smash some likes? Am I not putting it down? Come on. Show the love. Show the love. I'm going to wait a minute and see if I see these likes start moving. We'll start talking again. You know what I mean? All this just coming in, you know, getting all this goodness right here and not even showing the love. Oh, man. Where's the love? Where's the love? Mm. Yo. Mm. Some good chocolate right there. Some good chocolate. What is that? Has some Hershey right there? Mr. Goodbar? Mm. 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 Right on the package is saying whip nuts by P Diddy. Motherfucker. Nah. No P Diddy. Yo, can we get them lights up? Derek James, just no problem, brother. You know I got you. Tank's ducking. Tank's ducking Loma. You know what happened with that right there? Tank played himself. He did, and it looks bad for Tank. Tank wanted to avoid the Loma fight to make it build bigger because he actually thought that Loma would come back. Loma didn't come back. Loma took the year off. Remember? Because of the war shit. And he played himself. Tank. He thought, because see, they were trying to make Loma the A side. And PBC and Floyd and them wasn't having that. They were saying that Tank was the A side. So Loma's like, wait a minute, I've accomplished more than Tank. You see, I've accomplished way more than Tank. So Tank didn't want to, you know, so Tank figured if he went out there, I'm talking about during this time, if he went out there and knocked this next guy out, that Loma would be enticed to fight him, but give Tank the A side because Floyd wasn't giving up the A side. See, then fucking Loma disappeared for a year, and Tank had nobody. He kind of played himself. He should have took the fight and dared to be great, rather than bickering over who is A side in the money. Because Floyd understands, but see, I don't know if it would have been for the belts at the time. See, that's where my memory is foggy. Whether or not did Loma have the belts during the time he was, because that's important. But I also know that once Tank started going to the A side, he started selling out arenas and pay per views. There was no going back. And Loma's coming off the loss with T.O. and Sid too. So, yeah, he should have made that fight. But look, why didn't Tank fight Devin Haney? Why hasn't Tank fight Shakur Stevenson? Now, I can buy that at one time the American fighters were not putting the American fighters so fast against the American fighters so that we knock ourselves out, right? I can get that. Lomachenko is not an American fighter. You see? So there's no excuse there of why that fight should have not materialized or even talked about even more. It seemed like once that fight passed at that point, it was really never visited again. I've never heard anything else about that fight. All I hear are distant rumors about once upon a time there was a possibility of them two fighting. But neither side ever came back to say publicly, has Loma come out and say, yo, Tank, I want to fight you. After coming back from the war thing, he could have picked Tank as an opponent after losing to Devin Haney, but Devin vacated. The opportunity came up for a real world title, and Loma fell in line. They mailed Tank Davis his world title. Now Loma's getting a crack at it. Who's to say that that fight is not yet gone yet? That fight can happen. Tank and Loma, can you meet up at 135 for a unification? Hell yeah, for the WBC and the WBA. They'll both be champions at 135. So that fight can be a little late, but it can be a big fight. Both of them can come into that fight champions. Yeah, that fight can still happen. You see? So, uh, where does Shakur Stevenson fit in all of this? Shakur Stevenson right now's contract is going to be up with Top Rank. Bob Arum was recorded in an interview stating that after this June fight with Shakur Stevenson in Newark, New Jersey, that an opponent shortly will be announced. He said that his contract with Shakur Stevenson is over. Now, many people behind the scenes that I've talked to say that Shakur Stevenson is going to go running to the PBC because if he signs with the PBC, that he'll secure himself a fight with Tank Davis. Now, that's not necessarily true. Okay. He can also be a free agent and do what Devin Haney's doing, with Prince in them, right? Because Prince is one of his promoters. Okay. So I don't know, if Prince got that kind of money or whatever. I don't know what Shakur's going to do after this. After all this, maybe Top Rank might offer him another contract, but it seems like that the contract that Bob Arum offered him, Shakur denied it, and Bob Arum ain't offering him another contract. I guess Bob Arum only feels like he's worth so much. And coming off his last performance, and Shakur Stevenson saying, fuck that. Everyone's entitled to a bad performance. I am still Shakur Stevenson. I had a bad night. So what? So what? I am still champion. And whoever you put in the ring with me, let them think I'm sweet. Let them think that off that last performance, that now you could come in and, do that against me. Go ahead. Try that against Shakur Stevenson. We're going to find out who Shakur Stevenson is. Okay? All right. So I think that contract, that boat, that sale is going to be gone. I think Shakur Stevenson is gone. Where he ends up, time will tell. Shit, he might end up with Ed Hearn. Ed Hearn to pop out the woodwork. I'm on breaking news. He signed Shakur Stevenson. Yo, he signed Jerron Boots Ennis. Yo, Ed Hearns is everywhere. He's probably with Shakur Stevenson right now, chilling, driving with you. Yo, Shakur, listen. Yo, Ed Hearns everywhere, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Ryan didn't say that, bro. He did not say that. He said it was his nipples. Stop it. That's that's just Devin Doug Shakur. Never that. Devin Haney has earned the A side. He has all four belts at 135 and he's currently undefeated. There's no higher you can go. What would earn you the A side then? What more would you want him to do if he's not the A side? How higher do you want him to get? You want him to get all the interim belts as well? What would qualify you as an A side fighter then? Coming up against a fighter like that. You're coming up against Devin Haney at 135. He has all four belts, and you're saying you're not the A side. Get the fuck out of here, bro. He's undoubtedly the A side. There's not even an argument. And then his status that he brought with him to 140. I understand 140 is a whole new weight division. And okay, what you did at 135 was good, great, great. But you're at 140 now, and you're the new guy. So you got to start writing your own. Right? Kicking in the door and 140, it's pretty fucking impressive when you didn't take a tune-up fight and you fought the champion right away. You got to give Devin Haney his fucking credit here. You can't ignore what he did. Just because he made it look easy doesn't mean what he did was easy. Okay? That's what I'm saying. You gotta listen, no tune-up fight. He didn't fight a fucking number 5 contender and the number 1 contender. No, he didn't. He fought the champion right away. Okay? So that's the kind of shit Devin Haney's doing. He's definitely the A side. Okay? Now at 140, you can make an argument. And the argument's gonna come basically down to pay-per-view. And you're going to lose against Devin Haney. He's going to end up being the A side. Why? There isn't a 140 pounder that fights on pay per view, but Devin Haney. That's it. Teofimo Lopez doesn't fight on pay per view. Isa Pitbull Cruz doesn't fight on pay per view. None of them dudes fight on pay per view, bro. The only reason why Isa was on pay per view because of Tank. That's Tank's card. You see, most of these guys, the only reason why they were on pay per view because it was Devin Haney. You see? Subriel Matias, I'm not even sure if that fight's going to be on pay-per-view. It might be because you're fucking with Ed Hearn in the matchroom, right? So it probably might be a pay-per-view. I don't know, right? But there's not a lot of pay-per-view fighters in the world. There's maybe 10 pay-per-view fighters in the entire world in boxing. Okay? So there's not a lot of pay-per-view fighters. You see? So when it comes to that, then you can't argue with Devin Haney. Now, they can talk all the shit they want. They can talk all the shit they want about Devin Haney. and about his ticket sales and his pay per view. Look, in an era, this is no secret. That's also a gimmick. And when Subriel Matias says that, I can tell when Ed Hearns is speaking through Subriel Matias' mouth. Ed Hearns is whispering this shit into Subriel Matias, and Subriel Matias is not about politics. He just feels, okay, this is what I gotta say. And I could see that. I could read between the lines. I know when Ed Hearns is talking from Subriel Matias, because Subriel Matias said, Devin Haney no sell pay-per-view, right? So Bill Matias don't know nothing about no goddamn pay-per-views. He don't know how it works. He don't know nothing about the business. He's not qualified to talk about no shit like that, right? That's Ed Hearn telling him that. You know why? Because you know how many times I've heard Ed Hearn say that about Devin Haney? That's all he says about Devin Haney. That's his slogan, right? And it's no secret, right? It almost sounds like Ed Hearn saying something smart, right? Almost, almost, until he runs into people like me, right? And I break it down. In an era where pay per view is suffering because of piracy, of people being able to stream the fight for free, why pay for it? I get it. It's not like when it was pay per view in Floyd Mayweather's era, when we didn't have the internet, we couldn't stream the fight. See what I'm saying? We were forced to buy the pay per view, right? Perhaps if they lowered their number down in some of these outrageous pay per views, $80, and they brought it back to the old glory days of $39.95, we wouldn't have to steal the fight. Everybody could afford $40, bro. And the entire world would watch these fights. But because of the greed and the mindset of businessmen, never lower your price. Because if you lower your price, that's an old way of thinking. If these promoters were to come together and say, yo, we give the viewers the fight for $40, $45, or whatever, right? Leave it right there. Almost every American in the world can afford that. We wouldn't have to worry about buffering, nothing. We'd see the live actual fight and be okay with spending that money. See? But these motherfuckers are too greedy. They want to buy another mansion, another yacht off our money. No wonder we steal it. You see, and in the summer times, they're not giving us the fights we really want. We didn't want to watch Saul Canelo Alvarez against Jaime Munguia. That's not the fight we want. You know the fight we want. We want David the Monster Benavidez in the ring with Saul Canelo Alvarez. That's what we want. We don't want no watered down fight or no watered down version of David Benavidez. And then Saul Canelo Alvarez is beating on his chest like this is it's gonna be a great day for Mexican fighters. It's gonna be a Mexican fighter against a Mexican fighter. The Mexican people are gonna win. Yeah, you could have did that with David the Monster Benavidez too as well. Like what? And he's been your mandatory. So you feel me? But yeah, how did Devin duck Shakur? Devin never ducked Shakur. He never ducked Shakur. Shakur Stevenson has been growing up with Devin Haney, with Bill Haney. They had a great relationship. Let's just keep this in mind that Shakur Stevenson is 1 year older than Devin Haney. He's like a year and a half older than Devin Haney. Okay? So coming up, Devin Haney was little bro. You understand? Shakur Stevenson was the older one. At some point in their sparring, in their training, Devin Haney started to take over. The relationship split. It swayed. Shakur said, I'm going to go do my thing. They made up later in life. And success only speaks for itself. Okay, Shakur Stevenson, what did you do? He got a couple belts at 130. The way he got that belt at 135 against Edwin De La Cruz, right? Santos? Nah. Nah, Shakur Stevenson. Okay. What did Devin Haney do? All four belts, moved up, second weight division, successfully got another belt. Impressive performance. How are you going to say Devin Haney ducking who? Devin Haney's one of the only guys, right? He truly is, right? He one of the only guys. You say, yo, Devin, we want you to fight him. He fight him. For the most part, Devin has fought everyone they said he wasn't gonna beat. And he gave Lomachenko his shot at 4 belts. He gave Lomachenko what Lomachenko wouldn't give him at 19, a shot at a world title. Lomachenko vacated his belt not to fight Devin Haney. You guys remember that, right? Okay. So they emailed the belt to Devin Haney. That's how he got it. Lomachenko gave that belt up. That's where it came from. Okay. So speed things up. Devin Haney's not, he doesn't have 1 belt. He has all 4 belts. Loma pops back into the picture with his decent shirt on, right? That's the time he got the Jesus shirt on, right? And he asks for a shot at 4 belts. So that no one ever said that Devin Haney wouldn't take this fight. Thank you, donation. Shout out, Round One Sports Star. Thank you, baby. I'm going to get right to yours right now. For that Devin Haney wouldn't say that he ducked Loma because Loma started, pushing. Oh, Devin Haney don't want to fight me. Devin Haney turned around and said, excuse me? He said, you want to fight me? And he's like, yeah, I want a shot at the 4 belts. Devin said, you know what? You got that. Everybody said that this is the guy that was going to beat me, and somehow I was ducking him. You know what? I'm gonna give you a shot for 4 belts. Who does that? And then he won the fight. He won the fight. Loma didn't beat him decisively. No, he didn't. And even if you felt like Loma won that fight, Devin Haney was the current all 4 undisputed champion of the world. He didn't have 1 belt. He didn't have 2. He didn't have 3. He had 4. And if you were going to beat that kind of champion, you should have knocked that kind of champion out or knocked him down or put a kind of ass whooping that left it undoubtedly in the judge's mind. You knew that coming into that fight. When you give a lackluster performance or the performance, I'm not gonna say lackluster. I'm gonna say that Vasil Lomachenko did everything in his power. It, Devin Haney was just that much better, and he was able to fight Loma. You see, and Loma couldn't whoop his ass like he whooped everybody else's ass. And that 19-year-old kid that he once vacated his belt to whooped his ass on that night. You were going to have to beat Devin Haney's ass. And I was in agreement with that. I agree it was a tough fight and it was a good fight. And I would have liked to see that fight again. At the time, I even went on and said, I got videos. Devin should give Loma a fucking rematch, right? But, you know, in Devin's position, bro, I beat him. Been there, done that. I'm moving on. This train is moving. You had your shot. I gave you your shot. You didn't win. Why the fuck do I gotta please you again? I'll give you another shot. For what? For you? No, I got other shit to do. Now I'm fighting even a bigger fight with Ryan Garcia in New York City. Look where I'm at. Where's Loma? What's he doing? You see? So sometimes it's easy to say something as a fan, but as the actual fighter himself, nah, I gave you his shot, bro. I don't gotta give you anything else. Some men honored that shit. There was a different era where you said, "Yo, I thought he beat him." He said, "You thought he beat me? Run it back." Made it clear as day. The next time they said, "Yo, we thought he beat. What? You thought he beat me? Run it back." Yeah. But yet he wasn't the best. But yet Floyd was trash. That's what they'll say. You know what I'm saying? Let me get yeah. Like, oh, yo! I just seen where the donation came in from. And thank you, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you tonight. You know what I mean? uh, yo, that's my girl. That's my girl right there, guys. Yo, she's funny. She's at work and she probably got me on her phone or something. What's up, babe? I love you. Armando, how you doing, brother? How you doing? The Elvis Rodriguez. Look, yeah. I mean, you said it right there. You know, Duck Goose. I see that up there. Hold on, let me scroll up. What's this? Duck Goose is good. How did Devin, Duck, Shakur, Duck Goose? Okay. Oh, I just broke that down. Look, Shakur Stevenson ducked Devin Haney. That much is a fact. Okay, that is just clear as day right there. There is no way in a trial, if I was to bring this to court, would Shakur Stevenson win. Okay, because if we just sit here and we just think for 1 second about one belt in boxing, you're an amateur. You spend 5, 6 years coming up through the amateur ranking. You turn pro. A few years as a pro, they give you a crack at one world title. Tim Zhu won world title. In fact, it was this WBO title right here, right? Their organization. And when he lost that belt, his city came to show their gratitude. They gave him the key to the city. Him and his family's name is cemented in Australia for the rest of probably his life. They're always gonna know who he is. And all that was given to him for winning just one world title. It's hard enough to get yourself in position to win one world title. Liam Paro is coming into his highly anticipated matchup against Subriel Matias, and this is his first shot at a world championship, and he's undefeated, right? Okay. So when Shakur Stevenson was offered to fight Devin Haney for 25% split, the first offered for 4 belts, are you fucking kidding me? 4 belts you offered me for 25%. Shakur Stevenson said no. If you were to offer me a fight for 25% for 1 belt, I would have said yes. Historically, there's not too many men in the world that are going to take 4 or 5 years and the blood, sweat, and their tears to chase down 4 individuals, win all 4 belts, and give you an opportunity to win all 4 belts on one night. All that hard work it took that individual to get, you stand to get it. Not only did he say no to that, but Devin Haney was even kind enough to make a second offer. If you was to deny my first offer, you'd never get an offer from me again. Devin Haney sent him a better offer than I imagined the first offer, and he still said no. Then, no sooner that Devin Haney moved up to 140, that he vacated the 135-pound WBC Championship of the World. Who fought for it? Shakur Stevenson. Wait a minute. Help me make this, help me understand this. If Shakur Stevenson denied 25% against a fight with Devin Haney, I can imagine the type of money 25% is. So in his next fight against Edwin De Los Santos, how much money did he make? Not 25% from a Devin Haney fight. I'll tell you that much. Right? And not only did he not make the kind of money he made against Edwin De Los Santos that he would have made with Devin Haney in pay-per-view sales, which Devin Haney probably would have gave him a percentage of some of the pay-per-views. Just a small percent of pay-per-view, 3, 10%, 12%, is going to rake you in millions. It's crazy, right? Okay. He goes and fights for the WBC 135-pound title against Edwin De Los Santos. the same belt Devin Haney vacated, that he turned down an opportunity for 4 and he went and fought for 1 for less money. That's ducking at its finest. That's saying right there, I don't want to fight you. What would have stopped me from fighting anyone in the world for 4 belts? Bro, I swear to you, I would have fought Godzilla and King Kong. Bro, what? 4 belts? I don't even think, listen, pay my corner, pay my cup man. If I go to a hospital, pay my hospital bill. Just give me a shot at them 4 belts, bro. Give me a shot at them 4 belts. Listen, and there's no explaining that. Shakur fought for the very belt that he denied all 4. His next fight, you dug Devin Haney, bro. That's what that is, 100%. So yeah, there's no way around that. I don't know about Devin Haney ducking him, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. When you send a person not 1 but 2 offers, that was just too much to pass up. Luis Nares was asked 1 time, would you like to fight the Japanese superstar in Japan, in his home, in his backyard for 4 belts? And he said, I don't give a fuck where you put me to fight. We can fight on the fucking moon. Did you just say 4 belts? Luis Pantera Nada said, did you just say 4 belts? He said, yes. He said, bet. Where do I sign? Those opportunities don't come every day. And if someone ever offers you some shit like that, bro, you'll go to the Hall of Fame automatically. You win that fight. 1 fight. You don't gotta win 4. You don't want to gotta win in a title eliminator. You don't gotta move up through the divisions. You don't nothing. 1 fight, you're going to the Hall of Fame. You said no. Fuck out of here. Why are you in boxing? Why are you here? Didn't you say you wanted to be the great? You want to fight the great? Every fight after Shakur, I just want to fight the best. I want to see the best fighting the best. Yo, fight me. No, man, fuck that. 25%. Nah, not good enough. 30%. I don't want it. Hey, fight me for 10%. Bet. Yeah. Yo. Mm-mm. Nah, baby. You, nah. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't. And I know what 4 belts means in this kind of fighting game. There's not a lot of men in this world that will ever go through their entire career that will be able to say that they held all 4 major sanctioning bodies. You know, this man has never done that, and this man has never done that just to keep it like that. And they are considered the best fighters of all time. And they've never had all 4 belts. Just to keep it in its perspective, that some of the greatest boxers never achieved that. And they gave you an opportunity to fucking achieve that, and you said no? Yeah, all right. Bro, I, I mean, I use listen, it's not even about explaining, it's new fans too, brother. I'll give the new fan a benefit of the doubt that wasn't hip. I'll go back and I'll reintegrate some things and I'll break it down for them. That way they can understand the truth of what's going on and what's really going on here. They might be misled by other people. They came here and joined us, and we gonna teach them. We gonna teach them. We gonna tell them the truth. That's it. So, I'm not going off speculation and I'm not going off. These were actually events that were taking place all over freely in social media. That it was unfolding right there, right between your eyes. And that's how I found out about it. Because Shakur Stevenson himself was texting it when he was denying it. He was denying, oh, no, I don't want no 25%. Nah, yeah, I'm better than that. And Shakur would kept texting. He sunk his own ship. This is not like I'm hearing it third party or fucking nah. I go to Instagram watching Shakur Stevenson text in real time. This is coming out of his mouth. So these are all facts. He was all over at that time. He was all over social media, fucking blasting everything. Yeah. So I know he personally denied both fucking offers. He said it. So, look, guys, I tell you what, man, love or hate some of these fighters, they are starting to give us some of the biggest fights. I can't wait for Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia to enter their fight in April 20th. It's like a mystery. This one's like a mystery. You know what I'm saying? All fighters have a little something in it. But since I don't know what we're gonna get out of Ryan, I'm like, which version of Ryan Garcia are we gonna get? Are we gonna get this crazy? Is he gonna jump in there and just jump on him like a spider monkey? Right, right. Are we gonna see a technical Ryan? Are we gonna see a more improved Ryan Garcia? Are we gonna see the kind of fight that at some point in the fight you gotta look away? You're just like, damn, Devin's wiping him down. Like, when Floyd Mayweather fought Arturo Gotti, right? At certain points in that fight, I remember as a kid, I had to look down. I was like, damn, bro, this fight is not even competitive. It's just a one-sided beatdown. I've never in my life ever watched a world champion. He's Arturo Gotti was a legit world champion. He had the WBC. I never seen a world champion fighter he's defending his belt, never land one punch in a round. That was freaky to me. I was like, yo, did Arturo Gotti just throw like 20, 30 punches to the air? And he literally did not land one punch in the entire round, in one of those rounds. I was shocked. I didn't think you could do that to a champion. You're in a fight, damn it. You're a world champion. How the fuck are you going to convince me that a world champion is not going to at least land a fucking jab in the round? In a 3-minute round? He didn't touch him. Bro, that was brutal, bro. I remember I was watching that fight and I was like, damn. It was bad. I felt bad for Arturo Gotti, bro. I was like, stop it. Yo, dad, tell him to stop the fight. This is not good. Yo, and we can see that from Devin. What if, okay, now let's think of the things that are going on in this fight and the mindset that they're trying to install into Ryan Garcia. What are they trying to feed you guys? Which is true. And they're trying to put it into Ryan Garcia's mind. What is it? That he's a quitter. That he's a quitter. That he quit against Tank Davis with that body shot. Devin Haney's constantly putting that in his head. And all the post-fight interviews, don't you realize it? He say, man, you quit. You quit. You gave up. Which is might cause Ryan Garcia to go in there with this mind to show the world he's not going to quit. And he might fucking try to, not being a quitter, take a massive ass whooping. Is the more Devin Haney beats on him, he's gonna go, I ain't quitting, I ain't quitting. He gonna be too tough for himself. Like he didn't wanna stop fighting. Buddy McGregor had to grab it. It's over, it's over. It's over. Arturo didn't want to stop. He was like, your eyes closed. You know. So, could that play into Ryan Garcia's coming into it? No matter what happens tonight, I'm not going to quit. And he could potentially, to get a moral victory, put himself in harm's way to take a longer, much brutal kind of ass whooping because he doesn't want to quit and show the world that he's a quitter. That's the kind of thing that they're putting into Ryan Garcia's head coming into this fight. Yeah, just in case you don't see it. Yeah, they want Ryan Garcia to be able. So Ryan Garcia's his corner and coach will have to be the one to be the deciding factor. It's up to Derek James to realize, wait a minute, you're getting hit too much, kid. You're not, you don't got too much pop in your punch, ba ba ba, to throw in the towel. Because they're gonna have this kid Ryan so fucking to prove that he's not a quitter, that he can force himself to go that extra mile and really take a lot of damage. And that's what Devin wants. Because Devin knows he has him outclassed. Devin knows this is his opportunity from all those bad imagery from the Loma, from the George Camboza. If I give a great performance and finally shut this guy up, because remember, there's a big circle of boxing fans that doesn't believe Ryan Garcia should be getting this opportunity. There's a huge boxing fans that are not Ryan Garcia fans that want to see Ryan Garcia get put in his place for all the shit talking he does. There's a big group of people that want to see this kid get knocked out. So, and Devin Haney knows, wait a minute, here's my shot. I can really shine on this kid because he has everyone fooled. So what you gonna do? I'm gonna expose him. So how do you expose him? I don't want him quitting on me because if he quits on me, that's gonna reflect me. If Ryan Garcia quits in that fight in the second round, did you give people your money's worth? No. And then who's that gonna reflect on? Also, the backlash on Devin Haney, right? Devin, you ain't gave us a good fight yet. Ryan Garcia quit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what do? Wait a minute. Call him a quitter. Why? Because then he won't quit. All right. You're a fucking quitter, bro. You quit on take David, blah, 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 blah. And he gets every camera in his face. Hey, Ryan Garcia, they're calling you a quitter. Ryan Garcia, you're a quitter. They say that you quit. You when the weather gets away. And Ryan Garcia is gonna go into training camp. I ain't no quitter. I ain't no quitter. I ain't no quitter. You see? And he might get fucked up. Yeah, I see this shit from a mile away, bro. I just hope that Derek James pays attention in the fight and that Ryan Garcia, bro, you are the second man in this ring, right? You are responsible for your part, right? Show the fuck up. You're fighting a world champion, Ryan Garcia. I don't give a fuck what you think about Devin Haney. I don't care what they told you about him. You are in a professional boxing match for the world title. That's the position that you're in. I don't give a fuck what they said about Devin Haney. You better prepare like you want to win this belt. And that's up to him. Whatever lack of preparation he did or did not do, we're going to see it April 20th, aren't we? When Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia finally enter that ring. We're a few days away from it. What are we right now? What's today's date? What's today's date? I think it's the 12th, right? Yeah, today's Friday the 12th. Yeah. We're 8 days away out from the fight. The true earth. Yes. What's yes. Yes. You guys are crazy. Why do you guys do this to each other all the time? This is beautiful. Let's keep it respectable. Mm, good question. Anyway, I don't think if I've ever asked this. Do you guys think that the Devin Haney fight's gonna go 12 rounds? And if it goes 12 rounds, you're not fighting in Las Vegas. You're not fighting in California. You're fighting in New York. New York's another home for Devin Haney, though. kind of. He had some big fights, right? Can Ryan Garcia win in a 12-round decision against Devin Haney? Fuck, if he makes it to the 12th, if he makes it to the 12th round, doesn't mean he was winning the fight or that the fight was even competitive. He could have been getting his ass whooped every round. Could be like George Camboza. I don't even think that George Camboza won one round in that first fight. Some idiot judge gave him a couple rounds. I don't see how. Devin Haney boxed circles around him. If Devin Haney wants to box, he can box. If Devin Haney wants to brawl, he'll brawl. Um, I don't think that Devin Haney yet has figured out that one kind of punching power or that real great, but I believe that his body is developing now. He is coming into this fight 25 years of age, and I think that Devin is starting. And the fact that he's been an athlete for this long. He was a young athlete coming up. He had an extensive amateur career. In fact, Ryan Garcia was part of that. So he's been in athletes for so long, Devin Haney, that I'm telling you guys, I got receipts on this. You guys can check out my videos. I said be prepared to see an older version of Devin Haney. He's not gonna look like that kid anymore. Like that he's starting to turn into a man right before your eyes. With every match you're going to see Devin Haney age. He's going to have that kind of career, not like a Loma came into boxing. He had a beard. He looked like Loma. He's 36 years old. He's about to fight. He looks the same. We never seen Loma as a boy in the ring. Loma came into boxing. He was a grown ass man. And most of these Cuban fighters are the same way. Andy Cruz, he's 28 years old, bro. He's got 3 professional fights. You see? When we saw Devin Haney, bro, he was plunking Loma at 19. So that already shows he already had like 20 fights in. Devin. Devin was fighting in Mexico because he was too young to fight in America. That's where all that Mexican shit comes from. Because in Tijuana over there in them bars, they don't give a fuck how old you are. You want to fight? Get in the ring. He fought his way out of fucking young ass Devin Haney, 17, 8 years old, fought his way out of Mexico, Tijuana bars to get out. That's what kind of fucking boxing pedigree Devin Haney got. They try to say he lost in Mexico. I don't give a fuck what they say. The fact that that kid did that kind of shit, he was doing that kind of shit at 17, 18 years old. He wasn't no fucking grown ass man in Tijuana bar with his father knocking out Mexicans, got to make it out the back door with the little bit of money they got. You're in Mexico, bro. Hey, you just knocked out my homeboy? You better be lucky you get out this fucking building. Man, Devin Haney and his dad, they were in some tight situations in life. Yeah, man. And they think that they had it all good. Devin listen, he did some pretty impressive shit for a young kid. Not it, man. Look, man, you can say what you want about him. They can hate all they want, but it is what it is. Whether you like or not, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't take away anything that young man has done. So um and now he's still giving you everything that the people are asking for. This is not a fight that Devin Haney picked. Remember that. This is a fight that fucking yo, you want it, you got it, and this is what we're about to get. So, I really think that you know, look, I I don't like just giving one fighter all the praise because I'm a stern believer that there is 2 men inside of that ring. And I would equally want to give both fighters their just dues and talk about both fighters' strengths and weaknesses. But when one fighter is so much accomplished in the other fight, this fight doesn't even make like it should be. Like it doesn't make sense that I'm talking about it because like Ryan's so outgunned here. In real life, he's truly outgunned in achievements, accolades, fights, competition, you name it. Fucking style, fuck technique, punching, like everything. It's just like he's outgunned here. bad. And the one thing is like it makes Ryan Garcia look like he has power is that high knockout ratio, but against tomato cans. He knocked out all tomato cans, basically. You know, Luke Campbell got a gold fucking medal, and he's never was a world champion like that. When he fought him, I don't think he no. So like Ryan Garcia has no like that 83% knockout ratio can be misleading. You know, it might be high and shit, but not against elite competition are you doing that. And it shows Devin Haney's not doing it. Now, what Subriel Matias is doing, that's elite shit right there. When you got 100% knockout ratio, there's never been an opponent that's gotten in the ring with you and made it out of the ring, out of the 12th round with you. You've knocked out everyone, but yet somehow he's trash. He's not the best 140 pounder. Somehow, Devin Haney with 43% knockout ratio is a way better fighter than Subriel Matias because Devin Haney's style of fighting, 43% of the time, he doesn't knock you out. Only 43% of the time he will. And that fighting style is the best. But the guy that got 100% knockout ratio, no, he's trash. His style, because I don't like the way it looks. So you know what happens there? You don't understand boxing, fighting. Just because you don't understand what's going on, he doesn't have to look like Devin Haney to have a better style and technique. His style is so good, in fact, he has 100% knockout ratio. But somehow, Devin's better. Yeah, because he looks. Devin Haney's style is more catered to boxing. But Subriel Matias' style seems to be the more effective. With 100% knockout ratio, is it not effective? His style? Every opponent he came against, he knocked out. The last five, he made quit. How effective is that style with 100%? Can you get 110? Would you like him to get 200%? Because Devin Haney doesn't is nowhere near his percentage. So, in finishing your opponent in that aspect. As far as winning, they're both undefeated. So undefeated fighter, yeah, but all undefeated fighters are not the same. I got 100% knockout undefeated streak, and you don't. You know, oh no, I'm sorry. Subriel Matias is not undefeated. He's undefeated in wins. He's got a loss, and that's what separates him from Devin Haney, which is the loss that he revenged. You see, but as in winning percentage total, Subriel Matias' winning percentage is 100% like that. You see, when it comes to finishing every guy he fought against. You see, but the loss on his record is good for me anyway. You know why that loss is good for Subriel Matias? The pressure of being undefeated is lifted off his back. He doesn't have to worry about that one particular pressure. You know, in the beginning when a team or an athlete starts to go on a streak, right? Like in football, you know, they're like the Steelers, they were 11 games undefeated, or the Eagles or whatever, right? And as each game starts to get closer and closer, you know, you get more nervous. Now you're going out there before the game, you're thinking about the undefeated streak instead of just playing football. Instead of concentrating on what got you here, in the back of some of those men's minds, oh, we can't lose this game. We can't lose. And they created the loss. They created the loss in their head and they fucked around and lost. See what I'm saying? So Brea Matias has that loss, right? And that's good in a way. Why? One, he got to run it back and he destroyed that guy. So that ends that. See? At the same time, it relieves the pressure that he's ever lost before. So he's free from that chain and that bond of having the fact of not wanting to lose. That is over with. You see, that pressure is gone. And I kind of like that. And the fact that he was able to run it back and do the kind of performance that he did. So that's good. That's good for the young man, because that old thing sometimes stops fighters from taking these kind of fights. And I believe that not wanting to give up your old shit is what got fighters like Shakur Stevenson shook from taking kind of fights like that. Because of the fact that Shakur Stevenson didn't want to take the chance of losing against Devin Haney, he gave up the opportunity at 4 belts. You see how that undefeated shit can fucking sway you from going after greatness or an opportunity? Had Shakur Stevenson already lost and Devin Haney gave him, he probably would have took the fight. He doesn't have to have the pressure of being undefeated. Look at Shakur Stevenson's scenario and look at the kind of pressure they involuntarily put on him without even noticing it. Just take a look at the 3 guys that were in his locker room the day of his fight against Edwin De Los Santos. Who was in his locker room? Terrence Crawford, undefeated, going down as one of the greatest fighters. Floyd Mayweather, possibly, arguably, the greatest fighter that has ever lived, right? Undefeated fighter. And Ward, another undefeated fighter, were all in his locker room. Now, he's watching all 3 of those men talk. They're all retired, all undefeated. I said Terrence Crawford, sorry. They're all, those Ward and Floyd is all retired. And, Terrence Crawford is talking to them. And what's going through Shakur Stevenson's mind? They're all undefeated. I got to be like them. I want to be like them. Look at how everybody talks to them. He's standing over here watching all the greats and the legends. And the most important thing that stands out is that they're all undefeated. That shit drilled in Shakur Stevenson's head. When he went out and gave that lackluster performance, and that was almost taken away from him, he was this close from being defeated that he almost marinated that loss in his head. You know what I was talking about? He created the loss. All these undefeated motherfuckers was in the locker room, and they were all running their mouth before the fight for this kid, and he went and shot an egg like that. They fucked with him so much that when he was offered the 4 belts, guess what? He wasn't willing to risk his O. Yeah, that fucked him up, man. And that's what I like about Subriel. That when the time comes, he's not gonna be scared of wanting to risk that shit. He's gonna dare to be great. And some of that pressure is taken away from that. And now he's just free to fight and win. So in a way, I could see the the blessing in disguise, so to speak, on that loss. Because it set my man free from those chains of wanting to be an undefeated fighter. Yeah, it does. Oh, listen, Teal, we all know what Teal's about. Teal's all this and no bite. You know, Teal is accusing people about cherry picking opponents and cherry picking all of his opponents. All his last fights, he cherry picked Teal. Terrence Crawford picked Teal because that was a cherry pick gone wrong for him. Yeah, it's just a bunch of cherry picking, another guy cherry picking, and him cherry picking, and he ran into the better cherry picker. That's all that happened right there. Because Teofimo Lopez hasn't fought anybody of any great significance besides an uh, um, um, uh, Josh Taylor that came off his performance with Jack Catterall that many people, including myself, feels like he lost that fight. Okay, and that's what the kind of performance he was coming off going into the Tio fight. And now when Jack Catterall loses this fight, it's going to really reflect on Tio as a fighter. And will anybody please tell me who the fuck is this guy Tio fighting in Honduras? Who the hell is that guy? I'll wait. I don't. Who that? Why isn't he fighting at least the top guys? Which, in fact, Jeremiah Ponce. Why doesn't Tio fight him? Why doesn't fight Tio fight? Listen, any guy, any of the last five fighters Subriel fought, I would be cool if Subriel fought any of those guys. I'd be all right with it. Why isn't he fighting any of them? See? But he's not. He's fighting some tomato can. He's cherry picking, bro. Tio don't want the Subriel, but I tell you what, for the money, Tio is just foolish enough to take that fight. I just needed Subriel Matias to get a good promotional company to entice him with enough money. Ed Hearns and these Saudis, don't be surprised if Tio goes out to fuck Subriel Matias fights out in Saudi Arabia against Teofimo Lopez, right? But I would see it going Isa Pitbull Cruz and Subriel going because I just think that Isa Pitbull Cruz sees the same things that the entire world sees. That if he had a shot at any of those champion, it would be Subriel Matias. You know, Isa Pitbull Cruz can go after Tio, but he's such a fucking duck artist that I don't think he's gonna fight him. I don't know. And their schedules are all off. None of those guys are lining up, like coming off of a fight, lining up with another one. If you haven't noticed, Subriel has almost fought every June consistently. That's his month where his training lands. Yeah, he fought like last June, the June before, or whatever. Yeah, he fights a lot, and you can kind of see the pattern of where they're leading into the fights, who's coming out of a fight, and we could roughly schedule a fight. You see, and that's why I think that Terrence Crawford might fight the newly acquired 154-pound WBA champion out in Saudi, rather than fighting Jerron Boots Ennis, like some of these guys are thinking that it might happen. And I'm telling these guys, haven't we heard this before? Haven't we heard Terrence Crawford attach his name to some guys while they don't got to fight? They don't know what direction they're going into. Kind of attach your name to a big name until you figure out what you're going to do, then go from there. Haven't we seen that? I'm not sure if he'll really entertaining it. Did anybody offer Jerron Boots Ennis a fight? Has Ed Hearn and their negotiation guys got on the phone? As far as that, until I start seeing some things like that and the wheels actually start moving, that I'll believe some shit like that. But it is going to be thrown out there and you're going to hear it. So I'm going to tell you, just to keep you informed, but like I'm saying here, um nothing's official. There has not been any contract sent over. I'm not sure if they've even talked to each other, and I just think that some of these guys might have went back and talked to Jerron Boots Ennis's dad, and what they feel like should happen. So and they've always been willing to entertain a fight with Terrence Crawford, but I'm not sure Terrence Crawford feels the same way. And that's where I would like to know more. So I will be looking close into that to see if I can get any updates for you on that aspect. But yeah, Subriel is in a tough matchup, and he seems to be the only 140-pound champion that's actually fighting a real opponent. Besides Isa Pitbull Cruz and Rolly, even though that fight wasn't like the most skill fight, it you know he just acquired it, so you can't say, well, he's like, who you fought yet? He just got the belt, you know. But who the fuck is Tio fighting? And look who Devin Haney's fighting. Really, Devin Haney, your competition is actually going down lower as it pertains to boxers and how good your opponent is. Your competition it might be going up in name, maybe in revenue, but as in skill, you're actually going down. That's the truth. Subriel Matias is going up. He's fighting the WBO global champion, undefeated fighter. You know, Devin Haney, you're fighting a guy that already lost. He's never fought for a world title ever. And most people don't believe he should even got this fight. So if you want to talk about competition, yeah, Subriel is fighting the best competition right now in 140. And none of these guys have fought the guys he's fought. So yeah, yeah, until Tio does some shit like that. But we gotta see, and that's the bullshit about all of this. That during the time, right? So Brian Matias was coming up at 140 when he was fighting people like Pedro Ananya, right? Um, you know, and when he lost to Pedro Ananya, right, the first time, right, uh, Jack, Josh Taylor had all four belts, and the belts weren't scattered through the division. It wasn't like at that time, Subriel had the luxury to fight any of the champions because at that time there was only one champion, and it was Josh Taylor. So I believe roughly around that time, Josh Taylor had went into his rematch with Regis Progress during this time, right? And wait a minute, wait a minute. No, he unified. He got all the four belts. He beat him at that time. I can't remember which order it went in, but I know that Subriel couldn't win any of the belts, and then Josh Taylor was stripped of his belt, of all his belts, coming into the fight with Teal because they felt like he had to fight a certain. I'm not sure if they wanted him to fight the Jack Catterall fight again, or he had another mandatory he said no to, and then they got mad at him and stripped him of all the belts. My memory's a little foggy. I have so many fucking fights in my head, right? To remember every situation on a dime like this, but I'm doing the best I can. And I believe that I don't remember what the situation was, what they stripped Jack Catterall, but they did take, I mean, fucking Josh Taylor. They stripped Josh Taylor, but they stripped him of his three belts. And then he went and fought Teofimo Lopez, and he only had the WBO. That's all he had. Then Subriel fought for the vacant IBF championship against Ponce. Ponce got the opportunity from the victory that he pulled off overseas. He went to enemy territory and won a title eliminator, right? So when the belts were stripped from Josh Taylor, that's how Subriel Matias got his hand on the IBF. He fought for a vacant title against Jeremy Ponce. That's how that happened. And then the belt scattered. Then Regis Progress came in and reclaimed the WBC title. And then Devin Haney beat him for that. Like that. That's how it went. So and then Rowley got the WBA on some fluke shit, right? And then Isa Pitbull Cruz beat him for the and all those belts were Josh Taylor's belts. Yeah, and now Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall are going to shoot the rematch for no belts, but whoever wins that fight, it will boost them to be back in. But I kind of think that Jack Taylor's best days are behind him. And although I think he's better than like 70% of the competition still in that weight division, I think that Josh Taylor's still kind of boxer that can beat some of the top guys with the skills that he got. But I just don't think he got what it takes anymore to solidify himself or on the top with the type of champions we have today. With the Devin Haney, Subriel Matias's, you see what I'm saying? I think Josh Taylor's time is done. I don't see him losing weight and going down, and I don't see him going up in weight and being successful. So all Josh Taylor can do from here on in is put together some money fights and he's where out there and his fans support him. But I don't think he'll be a world champion again. Josh Taylor, nah. I don't think he'll be a world champion again. No. What's up, Hector? How you doing, my brother? What's up, John Lionheart? Bro, I can't. My eyes are fucked up, bro. I'm gonna need some glasses, bro. I got it, yo. This is hard to admit. You know what I'm saying? I've been the type of man had 2020 eagle night vision. Okay, my entire life. Fucking basically woke up one day. I can't read shit, man. Yo? And I can't. I've been wanting to give this dude a shout out, but I'm afraid to fuck up your name. Okay, fight fans. We're at the end of the video. Probably nobody is gonna see this unless you're my real hardcore fans and you guys really like know me. And to my hardcore fans, listen, you guys know I got a problem and an issue with saying names, right? And remembering people's names. And I didn't want to say this or bring it up because I was just like telling myself, just let it go, just let it go. But I feel like I got to address it, right? I've been breaking down some Subriel Matias's fights, right? But I've been calling one guy's name in the video the wrong guy's name. I've been Malik Hawkins. I've been putting Hitcherson as Malik Hawkins in some of my videos. I went back and I watched it and I'm like, oh shit. And I caught myself doing it like more than once. So I started to sit back and ask myself, what the fuck happened to you, bro? What happened? You would never like this when you was a kid. Like I remembered everybody's name in the neighborhood. You only had to tell me your name once, and I remembered everybody's name, right? But what happened was that the world turned me into this kind of person, really. You know, when I grew up, I started realizing that, a lot of people made promises to me when I was a kid, and they never fulfilled their promises. And a lot of teachers told me something or a job or something. And I started seeing that I was more distant with people, right? And if you wasn't in my tight circle, I started also noticing how the world taught me that people backstab you, con you, and always want something from you. And the more that I started to like try to protect myself from the world, the less names I took in. The less I wanted to know your name when you walked up to me. Whether we did business or not, that didn't okay, we'll do business, whatever, but I just wasn't going to remember who you were. I remember a face, I remember everything else, but I didn't care about your name. The only names I ever cared about were the people that I felt like were there for me, they were about me. And it was something I guess I developed in order to like function and to live in the bigger cities, I guess. I don't know. It just like I'm gonna share this with you guys, right? The other day, a friend of mine, and I've known this guy for quite some time, like a long time, and I was just in a different place in my life, right? And we was at some stupid baby shower and shit. I was much older. This is a few years back now, in fact, right? And he was talking about when I was younger, and he was like, "Yo, Edwin, how long you think I've known you?" And I was like, I don't know, 10 years, whatever, like 8 years, some shit like that. And he was like, nah, the reason why I say that, he was like, because this is the first time I've ever seen you smile and laugh. And I looked at him and I was like, in 10 years that you've known me, you've never seen me laugh. And he said, no, I've never ever seen you laugh, Edwin. Not in the streets, right? And when he said that, I was like, yeah, whatever, right? But since I've been fucking up this name shit, and it makes me be more people person, makes me more because I got to learn more about shit that I started realizing that I had developed this kind of personality. I just didn't really give a fuck about anything like that, right? I mean, I did care. I was so focused, in fact, and cared so much about me that I wanted to protect myself from you. So I did care. And I guess that was the way that I sheltered myself. I didn't want to know no more friends because every friend I knew either died, betrayed me, or so names wasn't something I was taking down. And at some point, I must have developed something that it just became because I was never like this. I was always, and I didn't realize that I was doing that to myself until I started doing this show. And I started like, and I got to remember these guys' names because I respect fighters. That's one thing I really respect, and I always admired and, a great fight, a good fight. Um, I love, and I fight myself, you know what I'm saying? I was a Golden Glove champion myself. Unfortunately, I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but my career never took off. I've never lost in a ring, by the way. I never lost in a ring. I won a Golden Glove in Holyoke, Mass. I believe that was in 1990. I won a championship there, and just the wrong people took notice. I'll just keep it at that. The wrong two people took notice of me, and I chose the fast money. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably the definition of wasted talent. I could be honest with myself on that. Yeah, I had like a lot of talent, and I didn't use it. I chose a different path. With being put in this world, we're never given a manual, right? And without a lot of guidance, um, I was left to my own devices. Yeah, so unfortunately, but there's always new ways to reinvent yourself, and I see that much older. So there's no reason to cry over spilled milk. I can still share my love or my passion for the sport that I love, in different ways. So here I am, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like talking this out right now. Maybe if I hear myself say it, I could start taking these names and shit because to the uncasual fan that watches me, they might take that and say, I don't know what I'm talking about because I either called a guy a different wrong name, and that could turn you off when you're like all hyped up about your fighter and you see my fucking thumbnail and come in and goes, oh, he said a name wrong, and right away you'll jump out, you know. And I don't want to make it seem like that because I take a lot of fucking pride in this, and I do a lot of research. And sometimes, I'll cut a corner or two when I research the guy too much, and then I'll learn my lesson on that, and I'll go back and say, no cutting corners, Edwin. So, I just don't want to cut corners because I've learned my lesson on that one, you know. But it is just something that I felt like I had to share with you guys. I apologize for sometimes I'll say the name wrong, man, and I'll just be like, but it doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? At all. Like I do, man. I be fast and shit. I be wanting to get it all out and stuff. And sometimes, it'll happen. But listen, guys, look, I just wanted to get that out with you guys. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people they talk about boxing and shit. They're like, yo, what do you ever did in the sport? You know, and just because he's a professional boxer doesn't mean that he's qualified to share analytics. He might be a professional boxer, but he might not be able to see and have the vision. As a reporter, I don't believe you always necessarily had to box, but it would be a good thing to know what it's like to lace him up at least and get a bloody nose, before you judge another man for not fucking standing up by a body shot. At least get in there and get a few of them or have a couple good fights in you. But an analyst and a pro boxer, he's a pro boxer. But it doesn't mean that people like Max Callahan don't know what he's talking about. I understand he works for ESPN. He got a gun to his head, right? But he's a smart dude, bro. He knows a lot. He knows a lot about boxing. And if he was allowed to speak freely, bro, I think he would fucking come to his senses. But I know he has to read off a a prompt monitor. For all that money, you better read off the prompt monitor. But here at Round One Sports Talk, I ain't paid by none of them dudes. I ain't got no gun in my head, and I can tell it like it is. Listen, I hope you guys love my show. I love these. I love breaking down these shows with you. Chopping it up, killing the night. Something to do. You know what I mean? Let me read y'all shit. Let me before I go. Yo, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Round one. All right, you've been with me since then. Yeah. Yo, I don't know what it is, man. Oh, the UFC, the 300, massive card. Listen. As just as good as I am when boxing knowledge, I'm up to date with my UFC. I just don't, yeah, because I wanted to make a boxing channel that I don't bring the UFC into it. But make no mistake, you guys see all the belts, right? You guys do know my yeah, yeah, yeah. We got the USC Conor McGregor right here too, baby. Okay, because I'm a UFC head too. I love fighting, bro. Don't you understand? You know what I mean? I'm not just a boxer, baby. Nah, I'm a little too old to be boxing. I need a little bit something else behind me. Yeah, yo. But just in case, Max Holloway is one of the greatest fighters UFC has had. Fucking Max. I've watched Max Holloway grow up in the UFC. I even saw Max Holloway when he lost to Conor McGregor when he was young. That was a good fight. Um, I believe Conor McGregor tweaked his knee in that fight. Yeah. Um, Justin Gaethje, he's putting that little BFF, baddest motherfucker belt on the line or whatever it is. All right, whatever. He's got it. Fuck it. It is what it is. Go with it, right? So, then Wei Lee, the girl champion. I believe China's gonna fight China in this fight. You know. Um, Hill is gonna fight Alex Pereira. Hill was the champion. He sustained an injury, and now he's trying to come back for his belt. But now there's a new sheriff in town, and Alex Pereira, the Brazilian, and Alex Pereira, you know, uh, he looked good. He looked good at his new weight. Izzy, it looked like Izzy hit him with that shot and it knocked him out a little. He looked a little weight drained in that fight. The second time against Izzy. But you know, I look for it being UFC 300. I think they could have been better fighters on it with the roster that the UFC has. I kind of thought John Jones would have been on that fight card, right? But I don't know what the fuck John Jones is going on with him. A lot of fighters didn't make that fight card, which I thought was very interesting. Um, there was just a lot going on. Sean O'Malley fought the card before that. Putting Sean O'Malley would have been a great big fight for 300, like stars like that on it. When you put Sean O'Malley the two fight cards before it or one before it. I was just like, and the fight with Sean O'Malley that he put up against Cheeto Vera. Yo, I thought that Cheeto Vera was going to give him a much better fight, if not beat Sean O'Malley. And Sean O'Malley shut him down. Just straight shut him down. It was crazy. But UFC, man, it's going to be a great night. UFC 300. That's tomorrow night. Um, if you guys want to watch it, I watch it too. I'm big into the UFC, but my first love, and it will always be my first love, is boxing. Because, to me, there's no greater sport. Don't kick me. Don't pick me up and scoop me. Fight me like a man right here. Me and you, toe to toe, right here. Let's go at it right here. you know. But if you view it in a sense like every man in the world weren't fluid and fast with their hands. And that shouldn't just make you a fighter, a one dimensional fighter where you're standing up. People are not fast with their hand, but they fast with their leg. They kick you in your face. So I also believe that you should be able to utilize all your limbs that God gave you. And just because you can't box doesn't mean you should be able to whoop my ass. I'll drag you down to the ground and choke your ass out. And some men view it like that. So it's only up to, the viewer, of how they want to view their fighting experience. I've saw both of them. I see the good in both sports. I just choose boxing. Yeah, I like boxing. Yeah, Gaethje ain't no joke, but these guys are getting old. These guys are getting old now. You can see Max Holloway. He's getting up there. Gaethje's getting up there. You know, uh, there's a lot of good guys fighting each other. Um, what's his name there with the tattoos on his head? Uh, a brother. He got his whole tattoo. I'm Green, 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 Green. His name is Green something. He's fighting on the card too. There's a lot of fighters on that card, but just not the ones I thought they were gonna put on it. There was just bigger options, and I'm surprised that they went with the card like this. Headlining the card is Alex Perez against Hill. Like really? That could have still been a co-main event. You had way bigger names. Yeah, man. Sugar Sean O'Malley would have been a bigger name. John Jones would have been a bigger name. Shit like that. I don't know. But anyway, they still fucking packed it. I think even um the white girl there that fucking the kick round the world, Holly Holmes. I think Holly Holmes is fighting on that card too. Her old ass too. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see that fight. I'm gonna check that out. But I'm mainly concerned for this April 20th fight against Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. I am definitely gonna tune in to see that fight. I believe a lot of boxing fans, whether you like them or not, are gonna tune in to see this fight in many ways because it's also gonna now now Devin Haney's free to do what he wants. Okay. He's not signed typically to anyone. And he gave Ed Hearn his fight with Ryan Garcia. Okay. So it's not that he gave it to him, kind of like a business deal under the table between them two. That's what that is. Right. So like then that's really gonna put Devin Haney and then Subriel is right there in June. You see? They're like 1 month in between each other. Right when he gets off this fight, no sooner that Devin Haney is just like coming off a little stretch, Subriel be entering the ring. They'll be like right there. So Isa Pitbull Cruz just fought. He's the last one to fight. Tio still hasn't fought yet. So the three champions in 140 that'll probably be available will be Isa, Devin, and Subriel. As soon as Subriel ends his fight, you see, not unless like Cruz hurry up and try to book a fight. He tries to really book a fight. But if he's free, Devin's gonna be free. He's only 1 month from him. That's I'm trying to see it like that. Whether or not it's gonna happen, that I don't know. But yeah, yeah, you see where it is. So that's why I want to see that. And then on top of that, by time all this shit is occurring, let's just remember, by time June 15 hits, we would have already seen Saul Canelo Alvarez fight with Mongia. We would know what you never know what direction Canelo Alvarez is going in. So, but okay, he would be done fighting, and I don't know. He'd say anything, right? And then you'd have Tyson Fury with Usyk. We'd have a heavyweight champion that has all four belts, right? And then we would have the Japanese superstar also going in his direction. And all of this is going to occur just before the Subriel Matias fight in June 15th. So we're gonna have a lot of shit out of the way and a lot of questions. New questions are gonna arise, and some questions are gonna be answered. And that's what I can't wait for. Danny, what's up? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's tomorrow night though. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jared Anderson. Your boy. Yeah, guys, listen. So it's been an amazing night here at Round One Sports Talk. Thank you for staying with me. Yo, could you guys do me a favor and please smash that like button for me? Because it really gets the video out and everything. I believe we had a great video. Please smash that like for me. And like always, fight fans, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Good night. Be safe out there. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.